What's up, y'all? AJ here. Today we got someone special. We got IFBB Pro, Brandon Newman.
Yes,
What's
sir.
up, man? How you doing?
How you doing, brother? How you doing?
Good to have you. Talk to me, man. You're a new pro.
Yes, sir.
How does it feel?
You know, it feels great. It's still kind of settling in because, I worked like 4 years for it, and I knew I had the potential. I just had to put all the pieces together and really come about it. It was like a learning curve. Like every prep was different, and I learned things throughout the journey, like about myself and how far I could push myself.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say like this time around it was a little different. I was really dedicated, and just based off my experience, I knew what it took to achieve the goal, and I just had to find myself mentally and really get it all together and piece up that puzzle, put it all into motion. And I would say I did a pretty good job.
Is this your second national show?
Third national.
Third national show.
So I did USA's 3 years in a row.
Okay.
And
so what did you learn from the first one and the second one?
So going into the first one, I was kind of green to it. I didn't really know what to expect. I had a coach in the past, and he kind of mentioned it to me and opened the idea of doing a national show to see where I stand.
What'd you place?
I placed actually 7th, dude.
Oh,
I was super young, so a lot of the guys are more experienced for sure.
Yeah.
And like I was talking to guys backstage, and like, yeah, this is like my 7th, 9th national show, and they were just telling me their journey and like the dedication behind it. And I was like, man, like if I really want to go pro, I gotta take it serious and like really take my off season serious and put in the work and stick to my diet, not fall off, not get sloppy. I just went into off season, training hard, following my diet, up to calories, of course.
Yeah.
And then I went into prepping again, and I actually hired a new coach last year.
For the second USA.
For the second USA.
And what was the difference between the second USA and the first?
I would say the second one, it was another learning curve because it was a different coach, different style.
Yeah.
He actually had me on like a set training program, so
So the first one you were kind of doing your own thing.
My own training, but diet part was super managed by me.
Yeah. Okay.
So the second time around with my new coach, Davin Shug's team belief, it was a little more intense, I would say, because I wasn't used to following a strict training protocol.
Okay.
And then along with the nutrition.
All the way from the reps and sets and rest times, or?
Yeah, typically like the rest times were like a minute and a half. It was a little different, but it definitely paid off and to my physique and developed me.
So what did you get on your second USA's?
That one actually moved back a spot. I got 8th, but it's weird because the first time I was 7th, but I got second call-outs, and I was in the center. But the second time I got 8th, but was in first call-out. So
how did you feel?
Felt defeated for sure, but
from the second,
yeah. But I'm glad it happened, because it just sparked me, bro, and like made me work even harder.
So with that said, how did you get over that feeling of being defeated? Because I know there's a lot of guys out there that they go into the national show and they're like, yo, this is it. I'm gonna get my pro card.
Yeah.
And then they end up 8th, 10th place.
Yeah.
How'd you get over that feeling of defeat?
I feel like deep down I knew I could have went harder, could have pushed myself and suffered a little more. So I knew what I had to do. So I originally actually this year was supposed to do junior USA's. And I was 10 weeks out. I just mentally wasn't there. And physically I didn't feel like I was ready, like the way I looked.
Yeah.
So I took a step back actually for a month, and then just trying to gather things and get my mental right. And then eventually when I got my mind right, I was like, okay, I wanted to take like a year off from bodybuilding and give myself a real break. But I fixed it. So I was like, I can't live with myself knowing I kind of backed out and gave up. Like I think I would feel worse that way. So I was like, I'm gonna do USA's this year. Like that's the goal and that's what I want to do. It's the only national show I've done, and it is for a reason. It's the biggest national show in the world.
Yeah.
So I told myself like years ago when I first did it, if I'm gonna go pro, it's gonna be at USA's, because then I know I belong.
Yeah.
Like if I go pro at one of the littler shows, you know, I might have a decent physique, but my potential isn't all the way there.
Mm-hmm.